Hello and welcome back. This time I'll start with a little demo before telling you what this video will be all about. As you can see, I'm doing some pretty fancy transformations here. This is all thanks to a new tool that allows for the fastest, easiest and most subtle character posing for Flash animation that has ever existed to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to this world KineFlex. This is the single biggest invention of ours since we introduced smart magnet rigging 5 years ago. Look at this little icon here. The tag says KineFlex Smart Magnet Rig Tool. We have a command associated with KineFlex, and the shortcut key for this command is G. The command does basically only one thing. It allows us, regardless of what tools we have selected, by pressing G, to make KineFlex our currently active tool. Okay, so how does KineFlex work and what can it actually do for you? KineFlex uses the Smart Magnet Rig hierarchical metadata to create on the fly skeletal structures or bone chains that only exist during the transformation and disappear on MouseRelease. So let's see first what we call a soft rotation. When I modify an element, as you can see, it pivots from its registration point and it keeps all the linked elements in the same relative position to the magnet target inside the parent element without transforming them in any way, just moving them relatively to the magnet target movement. As you can see, this looks like a very natural type of movement. Now this is what we call soft rotation. If I hold down Alt, we'll get a hard rotation, which basically means that the joint becomes rigid and you can rotate the elements all together. By doing soft rotation to one point and then holding down the Alt key, you can get where you want to be. You can very quickly and effectively pose your character. And then we have the Shift modifier, which basically allows you to move elements. Now, as you will notice, as I disassembled this guy a little bit, if I keep using the KineFlex tool, it retains the relative positions of all these elements, so it doesn't really force you to work as normally skeletons force you to use bones, like in a rigid manner where things are always connected to each other. Now it's always there for you, but it creates this chain at the moment you press the button down, and the chain just stops existing the moment you leave it. You can just do some additional transformations with your typical tools and then go back to KineFlex and it will just start from where you left it with your other tools. Now if we need to reassemble again, I can press 1, which would be, as you know, Smart Transform, and then Smart Magnet Joint, and that would just snap the elements back in place. There's never been anything that would allow people to pose their characters faster than KineFlex. It's actually pretty amazing, isn't it? Now, there's a quick settings dialog for KineFlex, which would be Alt-G. And from here, we can colorize the active chains if we'd like to see what is active at a specific point of click. So these are the chains. It goes down from the highest ranking parent towards the end of the chain. Let me just specify a lighter color. I'll just go for 15% so that it's much less obtrusive. KineFlex works only in the current frame. If we have several frames here and I try, if I'm not in a key and I try to click, I'll just get this message telling me that I need to work in a key. So I need to create a key first, and then KineFlex will allow me to modify my character. What if we have locked layers? So if I lock the hand and try to modify, it will just stay locked. If I lock this guy and try to modify, the chain basically terminates at the first locked layer. So the locked layer terminates the chain, and we can keep modifying whatever is unlocked. In principle, all that you need to know about KineFlex before starting to have all the fun with it, just remember Alt drag and Shift drag are the two modifier keys. Now let's look at a couple of real life rigs, just as an example and inspiration. Here is a jackal. You can see how the whole character gets modified almost in real time. There you go. You can see it's very, very responsive. Very pleasant to work with. Now we have a little heron character here, at least to a certain point before the rig breaks. You can see how quick and easy posing can be. Let me just try to put this foot on the ground, just like this, and then lift this other foot in the air. Maybe push it further, make it as if he's walking. So there you go. You can, from selected KineFlex, if you need to do an inverse selection, I'll just press Shift+1 and the tool will switch to the Q tool, so that I can just use the arrow keys or drag and the pivot goes up. Just like this. And finally, just before I go, as a another simple and fun example. It really depends how you set up your registration points, but with this hippo I've put the reg point of the torso, which is our highest ranking parent. I've put it here just at the center of gravity. So if I use KineFlex on the torso, you can see the whole character using the soft rotation. The whole character appears to be counterbalancing, almost as if we're ready to just create two keys. If I use this one as a key and then select another frame and create another key here and just push in that other direction and add a Classic Tween, you can see we almost have an animation here going on just with a single drag. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now you can see even this kind of bit can be done very easily. So all kinds of subtle movements are absolutely a breeze with the incredible KineFlex tool. As a final word, I'd like to remind you that you can always refer to the EDAP tools help file and read the articles from our website. We also have an updated shortcut key map, so you can check what functions are associated with what keys. In this case, G calls the KineFlex tool. Also, settings for KineFlex are available both from the EDAPT control panel, or as I mentioned before, quick settings are Alt plus G. Okay, enjoy using KineFlex. It's pretty amazing. Thanks for watching.